YouTube, I'm Shannon.
I'm Lily.
And this is Snicker back here, the most wretched cat in the world. So if you would
awesome
like him, send me your address and I'll ship him
Mama!
to you. We are here to discuss Real Housewives of New Jersey, Season 5, Episode 14. The Jersey crew is still at the ranch, or the spa in Arizona. Now, when I think of spa, I think of like facials, saunas, mud wraps, shit like that. But these are actually, I think that going to this spa has been better for them than their therapy trip that they took with Dr. V.
Very true.
Melissa's starting to feel a little bit better at this point because she's been sick on her own birthday trip.
Which kind of stinks.
But she's like, I'm kind of done with this therapy and the feelings and shit. I want to sit by the pool with a cocktail with an umbrella in it. That's pretty much her attitude. And that's what I call vacation.
In a bikini.
In a bikini.
I would wear a bikini.
Jacqueline tells Chris about Teresa's remarks about karma and how she doesn't want to do anything bad because if karma doesn't get her, it'll get her kid.
And Jacqueline thought she
You're
was
screwed.
Jacqueline thought she was directing that to Nick. She thought she was directing that to Nick, since he has.
And Chris is kind of wonder. He's autistic.
He's autistic, yeah.
And I mean, I think that Teresa has done a lot of low down shit, and she's kind of hit below the belt a few times. But I don't even think Teresa is stupid enough or insensitive enough to say, "Oh, your son has autism because of your bad karma." I don't think that's what she meant by it.
I think not that way down.
So they go to horse therapy, and with Wyatt Webb.
Okay, what they do.
Who I think is probably a genius. I thought he was a great old guy.
Cool. What they're doing is this horse only responds to you being real. You can't be fake. You gotta be 100% real. And you have to lift it up and you gotta clean it out.
Squeeze its leg. When it lifts it up, you catch it and you scrape out the crap from its hoof.
I thought it was so funny. I think it was Richie who said this. He was like, people are paying this guy to clean his horse.
He's like, this guy's a genius. People pay him to come clean his horses.
I thought that was pretty creative.
But Wyatt called him on his shit and said, you know why you make jokes all the time? Because you're hiding your feelings. But Chris goes up first. Chris Larita goes up first.
He totally
stands next to the horse, squeeze, lift, scrape. And Wyatt was like, okay, the reason is because you have good energy. You're not fake. You have good energy. You're real. So he did it. He was great at it. Rosie scored. Okay, Wyatt calls her up, and she starts crying. And I felt like we really got some good information about Rosie here. He says, "Do you feel like you're not good enough for this?" And I mean, this is like intense for Rosie. And basically, she's like, "Yeah." And he says, "Well, how long have you felt that way?" And she says, "Most of my life." And I think a lot of people deal with that. I mean, we're always dealing with things that we're not good enough for it.
Or, like, just anything that's different from most people in general. It really makes them feel bad about themselves, and I love everyone, no matter what their race is or what they are, what they believe in. Like, I have an open mind.
We try to be open. We try to love people or hate people based on who they are,
we don't like to judge people just because. Yeah, exactly. That is perfect.
If you're an asshole and you're gay, I don't like you. If you're a white, straight Christian and you're an asshole, I don't like you. That's just how I am. I try to play it off of the kind of person you are, not what your beliefs are, not what your color is, not what your sexual preference is. But Rosie's also had this stigma because she grew up in an Italian family. It was her job to get married, have babies,
have kids, and she didn't do
that. So that was a lot of pressure for her.
But I honestly think, I wonder how she would raise the child, like what the child would turn out to be.
I don't know.
Probably like this tough.
Probably a lot like you, except for I'm not a lesbian. But it's still tough.
She is.
Melissa feels anxious, and she's afraid that the horse might pee on her.
She's like...
I would probably worry about that a little bit, too.
And the horse
and she goes, I'm going to do the Rosie walk.
So she walks up there all sexy. Rosie's looking at her, she's like...
But Wyatt says that doesn't look like a rosy walk. That looks like a poor homeless troll.
Yeah, I thought that was funny. She had to ask me. She was like, "What did he say?" I was like,
"What did he say?"
Homeless troll.
So she gives Wyatt her bullshit story and everything, and I'm just so nice, and people don't appreciate that I'm being nice.
He's like, do you ever feel,
No, what he says is there's a difference between being nice and being manipulative. Yeah. Because you're kind of doing that, Melissa.
Fine, girlfriend.
And he kind of senses that she's running a game on him. So she's struggling, and Joe's having a hard time watching her struggle. So he says, you have a hard time watching her struggle. So,
Like, squeeze the leg.
He asks Melissa, who do you want help from? And she says, my husband. Of course you do.
Joe. If she would have
So Joe comes up. He can't do it. So then he asks Teresa for help. She can't do it.
Teresa's like, oh, it moved.
And Caroline hit the nail on the head here. She said that Teresa and Melissa just can't open up. And that's their problem here. And they're both shut down to the situation.
I think, honestly, I think that really showed on Melissa's part. Melissa tries to pull it off as she's not fake. She's 100% real except her boobs. Yeah. No, you're fake.
So Kathy and Richie go up, and Richie gives it a shot and can't do it. Kathy walks up. She's like Chris Loretta. She does it like a pro. Hits it like a champ.
And, he was like, he talked to her.
He said, how do you feel about that? And she's like, proud.
And he's like, see, you can be proud. You can't even join.
He's like, I'm sad for you.
She's like, that makes me feel sad. I was like, she can't even be proud.
But you also have to keep in mind,
all those people are so catty that they're going to get jealous because she freaking.
And keep in mind, while all of this epiphany is going on in her life, Teresa and Joe Giudice are over there on the phone talking to Melania.
Yeah, at first, Joe Giudice, he's kind of like, he's like, oh. But it turns out she was talking to Melania. But
which I get wanting to answer your kid's phone calls, but there's something important going on here. So it consists of this. Hello? Hey, baby. Is everything okay? Okay. Mommy's going to call you here in a few minutes when I'm done, okay? Love you. Click. All right, that's what you do. There's nobody dead, right? Click. Okay?
No one's dead.
Yeah. Everybody's safe. Everybody's okay. I'll call you back. That's how you handle that and not look like a tacky bitch. So Jacqueline goes up, and we all know that Jacqueline has been carrying a lot this year, and she automatically starts crying. And Wyatt says, why are you crying? And she said, because I'm nervous. And he said, well, that's weird, because I don't cry when I'm nervous. I cry when I'm hurt and I'm upset.
I cry when I'm sad, and I cry when I'm hurt.
So Jacqueline, she manages to do the horse thing, cleans his hoof, and she's crying, and Teresa comes up and hugs her. And, Chris is like, this is the Teresa that Jacqueline loves. This is the Teresa that I love.
That was really awesome.
It was. Joe Giudice. Now, if there is one person you think that is going to get nothing out of this exercise, it's Joe Giudice. But he goes up there, and Wyatt says, what are you scared of more than anything? And he basically tells him, I've got legal problems going on.
And Teresa looks at him, she's like, what, really, you just have to spill the beans on our financial issues.
But I liked it, too, when Wyatt said, acknowledging fear takes its power away. And I think we all need to remember that.
I'm taking your power away. Yeah.
Power sucker! So Joe wants to try it again, and he succeeds. And I think that he felt really good about that. Caroline and Albert. I don't know about you guys, but this was these were all emotional situations for me, but Albert's kind of the tough, hard-ass guy, and he goes up there, and Wyatt asks him one thing that he's proud of, and he says that I've overcome things.
And he said, can I ask you something? And he goes, sure. And he goes, were you abused?
He says, were you abused as a child?
And Albert starts crying.
And Albert fucking tears up. The tough guy. And Albert tells him, basically, yeah, clinically, technically, I was abused. And I guess he had a rough childhood, and probably kind of made him the hard ass he is now.
Who was it that abused him? Was it
his dad?
Why, like, mentally or physically?
I think definitely mentally. I don't know about physically, but I think mentally his dad was very abusive.
Like, I don't get it. Why would he be abusive?
He's probably like, "You're a stupid piece of crap!"
I get that a lot.
All the time.
I'm used to this.
And then sometimes I'm like, boom. Just kidding. It's okay. Mama loves you. Mama loves you. No, I thought that was a really good moment, though, for Albert. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Caroline goes in and does it. Her and Albert both managed to do the horse thing, and that was awesome. And Wyatt says it's because both of them are in touch and unguarded. Yeah. And basically the lesson of this whole horse thing was to be more vulnerable.
This guy's amazing.
Get out of your comfort zone. Yeah, and sometimes I think that definitely makes you a stronger person.
Totally.
Teresa didn't get the exercise. Melissa didn't get the exercise. They're just pissed that they didn't get their cocktails with umbrellas.
They just want to get their cocktails with umbrellas.
Jacqueline says she wasn't crying because she was upset. She was crying because she thought the horse might kick her. No, she thought the horse might kick her.
That's kind of a weird thing to be upset about.
And apparently, the whole group was obsessed with the size of the horse's penis. You perverts, quit looking.
That's kind of weird.
It is kind of weird. I mean, like, haven't they ever heard... Oh, never mind. I'm not going to say that in front of you. The same. You were supposed to earmuff.
Oh, I did.
Oh, okay.
I made fear.
I mean, it's not like this should be a shock that the horse is well endowed.
Don't do that! I kissed her.
Later, the whole tribe goes to Tony, the Navajo Indian guy.
Navajo Indian.
And he has them play instruments, drums. And the whole point is to get into unison like a heartbeat.
I would have been like...
And actually, I felt like Teresa and Melissa kind of enjoyed that therapy more than the other stuff that they've done. But Rosie stands up, and I love the fact that Rosie and Kathy have a good relationship. I really do. But Rosie says, I really wish everybody would be as supportive as Kathy is of all of us. And then calls out Teresa on her telephone, but with Melania antics during the horse thing.
That is wow.
You know, and then Teresa in her private, what do you call that?
Talk.
Her private talk thing, she says that Kathy's just having her Marsha moment.
What's a Marsha? Girlfriend, you use sayings and words I don't understand.
Okay, the show The Brady Bunch, you know, with the 6 kids. The middle girl was Marsha, or was Jan.
Okay. No, I know.
And one episode she got jealous of her sister Marsha, so she was like, Marsha! So it was like, she was basically, Teresa's being a bitch and basically saying, oh, Kathy just needed to be the center of attention. And that kind of pissed me off, because I love Kathy. Love Kathy. I think she is such a sweetheart, and I really want her to make me some cannoli.
No, she's making me cannoli.
No, she's making me
cannoli. Like, if I could choose another person to be my mother that, like, I haven't met, like, a famous person, I'd probably choose her.
She is awesome. I like her.
She's such a nice mom, and she's
so Teresa,
homey, and makes you feel at home.
Teresa and Jacqueline have a talk.
Cozy.
And, excuse me, too much dinner. And Jacqueline confronts Teresa about the whole karma comment and says, you know, like, what did you mean? Which, honestly, they would have a lot less problems on this show if they would actually have the balls to say, what did you mean when you said that? Do I need to be offended? Do I need to beat your ass? Or should we hug? What did you mean by that?
Are we going to beat each other
up? And Teresa... She says, you know, you misunderstood me. That's not what I meant at all. And I really didn't think that's what she meant. I mean, honestly, people would throw garbage at you if you really said some shit like that. Yeah. That little boy's autistic because his mom's bad karma. Like, really, I don't think she did anything bad enough to deserve that kind of karma anyway. And Jacqueline tells Teresa she doesn't want to be disappointed in their friendship, and Teresa wants to be more open, and they write these things down. They had a really good talk. I feel like this is the most genuine talk they've had in a good while. Didn't you feel so?
I did. I really want to start seeing Teresa become a better person, because I really liked Teresa at the beginning, but she kind of became the new Danielle, and I really want to see that change. Like, I really felt good, like, when Joe Giudice got more likable.
Yeah, he did get more likable in the last couple of episodes. Next episode, big obstacle course, more Giudice Gorga drama, and Joe Gorga's gonna throw a glass over something, so I can't wait to see what pisses him off. Thank you for watching.
I saw
Stay
Richie
tuned.
and pause.
Please subscribe. We love you.